My name is Austin Linney. I have a podcast called Construct Your Life. I've had for a couple years. I cut my teeth in the restaurant business since I was like 17. I was a barback and expo. I did a bunch of different things. Bartender for years, sold wine for 20 years, worked in the music business. I've worked construction. Now I have a private equity firm. We own home service businesses. And then I also have a coaching and consulting business as well, too.
Welcome to the In Podcast, where we dive deep into genuine stories of leaders who've seized control of their journey. This podcast is brought to you by LeadHub, your growth partner for the trades. And now, let me kick it over to our guy, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome to the In Podcast. I'm Austin Linney. I'm your host. I was asked to host this podcast. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about my experience with LeadHub, why I agreed to do this. They're holding me hostage. No, I'm just kidding. They keep me in a back room. They only let me interview people. No, I'm just kidding. My name is Austin Linney. I have a podcast called Construct Your Life. I've had for a couple years. I cut my teeth in the restaurant business since I was like 17. I was a barback and expo. I did a bunch of different things. Bartender for years, sold wine for 20 years, worked in the music business. I've worked construction. Now I have a private equity firm. We own home service businesses. And then I also have a coaching and consulting business as well, too. And, I met Ben through a friend who said, you got to meet this guy. He's super charismatic and you're going to like him. I think you're going to hit it off. And I met him and we did hit it off. And I got to know him. I got to know Aaron. I got to know Ryan, Dennis, and everything. And every interaction I've had with them has been amazing. They're people that care. They're people that want to see others succeed. And I can get behind that mission. And so a little bit about me. I'm an open book. I struggled with drugs and alcohol for about 21 years, 22 years in my life, mainly drugs in my early 20s. And then I was a functioning alcoholic for 20 plus years. And I say all that not to say that I'm proud of it. I say all that to say that I've 5 years sober as of a month ago recording this. And, my hope is that we can share stories of inspiration to others. I haven't hid my troubles. I haven't hid my setbacks in life. I'm also divorced, but engaged to a beautiful woman now, and I've lost 70 pounds, and all those things have happened in a relatively short amount of time. And the reason I can speak so freely about it, the reason that I can do it, because I've done a lot of work. I've helped a lot of people get sober. I've done a lot of work on myself. And I think that what we hide in the closet or we hide in the dark really just, holds us back. And I think that we as people, this podcast is here to inspire. This podcast is here to talk about leadership and talk about the community and how we're helping people and all these items that we're going to be focused on in this podcast. And one of the reasons that I agreed to do this was how much LeadHub has helped me in my business, helped me expand the company that we bought. We had 22 reviews in 22 years total, and we're now at 151 reviews in 8 short months afterwards. We've tripled our calls to our company. We've really created something special where the brand and the awareness is showing more. And I think it needs to be shared because there's so many charlatans in the marketing space. There's so many people that are promising one thing and delivering something else. And where I live and where I sit and where I want to inspire is authentic. Who am I when nobody's watching? Who am I when the lights aren't on? Who am I in my day-to-day action? Everybody in my life is a VIP. And I want to honor and work with people that feel the same way. When you're handing over your money, right, your hard-earned money to somebody, you want to know that it's taken care of. You want to know that your um, interests are aligned. You want to know that you are doing something that matters. You want to know that the people that are partnering with you on this, the vendors, the workers, they are creating a kind of win-win for everybody, right? And I think we as people, I think that we search for a couple things. I'm a mindset coach by trade. So for me, I love to dig into human psychology and why we do certain things. And I think that we need to be, we have a need to want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to feel like our goals matter. We want to feel like we create something that leaves a lasting impact on our community, our family, and everything. So on this podcast, we are going to create a space where we can share those stories with you. We can provide a platform for people to share their stories, to share the struggles, to share the wins, to share who they are as people, because this is greater than just creating something to create something. This is uh, for lack of a better word, a diary, a video diary of stories of people's life, and they can share and they can inspire and they can create. And so we take this pride. Mark, the producer, and I uh, take a lot of pride in what we do, and we want to give you a great production. We want to give you great sound quality. We want to give you great stories. We want to ask the questions that others aren't willing to ask. We want to share things that others aren't willing to share. We want to create something where you can leave the podcast and you can be inspired. And one way I do that is to tell stories about things in my life. I'm a very open book. And I believe if I can't be vulnerable with you, then what's the point of me doing this in the first place? There's no facade. There's no hidden agenda. I am who I am, for better or worse. And I hope that that comes across in what I do. And, this message for me is just a message for you to get to know me. I love to travel. Me and my fiance spend most of our time. We're about to hit the road again. 2 years prior to this, we did an RV for 13 months. We did almost every state. I've been to Europe a couple times, and we just love what we do. We're about to hit the road again in the summer to Washington, the Tetons, and Canada. I'm obsessed with travel. I'm obsessed with human connection, people connecting. I'm obsessed with people's stories. I wanted to share them. I want them to share them. And so it's something that I care a lot about. I love music. I love good food, and I love golf. I'm a big in golf right now. So, that's a little bit about me. I just wanted to come on here and tell you about who I am, what I'm about. So when you listen to the podcast, you have more of an understanding of who the guy is asking all these questions and where did he come from. One of the things that I really hold near and dear to my heart is people battling addiction, people battling themselves. I think that we have put labels around something that is not, it's a vehicle, but it's not the reason, right? The reason is something different. And when you address the core issue of something, then you can create everlasting change. And one of the books that changed my life was What You Say When You Talk to Yourself. I've probably bought 60 copies of that book, that and The Gap in the Gain. That is what I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with peeling back the layers of human emotion and human behavior, and learning about leadership and community and sales and psychology and building businesses and scaling and giving jobs, right? One of my huge passions, my dream, why I do all this stuff, is I want to create an entrepreneurship school. I dropped out of college 3 times, and I feel like I was really pushed in the wrong directions in school. And I really never got around to any of that. And my dad was a doctor, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go to college for 9 years. And so I feel like the entrepreneurship school would be taught by professionals that understand the space and would connect with the kids, because that's really what it's about. I want to spend the back half of my life helping kids and helping people find their passion, because that's really what it's about. It's about finding something that sets your soul on fire. That's what that sign says back there. Seek the things that set your soul on fire. And if we can do that every day, then we as a community and we as a person and we as a leader in our family can show up in the best versions of ourselves. And that's what we're after. So that's a little bit about me. I wanted to share a little bit about who I am. I'm honored to be the host of this podcast. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. So rate us, review us, send us around, share with a friend, and we'll see you next time, guys. Folks, if you made it to the end of the episode, I'm sure you found some value with what you're listening to. If you could send this to a friend, rate us and review us, share us around. The more that you share us, the more that we can share content with you. Thank you all so much for your time and listening, and we'll see you next time.